Alright, this is going to be a very informal voiceover creating a track in Velocidrone. So once you've launched it, click Track Manager, create new track. I'm going to go with Countryside. It's got plenty of open space. So to pan around, you can press your scroll wheel down, drag it to orbit or look around sort of. I'm not really sure what this is called. Right click and just move your mouse around. Left click doesn't move anything, you just select stuff with it. So I'm going to make the track in this area right here. And then, you can zoom in and out with the scroll wheel. I think by default this is set to 2. And now it seems to be going the same about, so never mind. I don't know what this does. Ignore me. So I'll probably line it up kind of with the image. I'm going to put the bottom left corner right here and the top right corner over here. To mark sort of the bottom left corner, just like in the image, I'm going to place the start pad. That's this object right here under barriers. So I'm going to just select it until it's green and then click here somewhere. To rotate, I'm going to click this tool up here till it has this. And then I can either turn it, or that's kind of a informal way of doing it. I'm actually just going to change it precisely. So for green, set that to 90. And now it's set perfectly. Then I'm going to go back to the move tools just by clicking this. So now that this is placed in the bottom left, we want to kind of redefine the coordinate system. So this is at 0, 0, 0. You can see right now it's at a different location. It's like at 90, 154. To reset this, I'm going to have this selected and do Shift Z. Now you can see if I click off of it and click again, this is at 0, 0, 0. So everything else I do is going to be in relation to this. So just to show something off, I'm going to place this cone down. You can see, actually I'll select feet to make sure this is set correctly. If I move this right here, it's going to be, let's see actually, so it's about from the middle. It might be off a little bit in comparison with the image because I think the image has the bottom left corner right here at 0, 0, 0, but not a big deal. I can see that the dimensions of this grid are 100 by 200, so if I want to set this, let's see, set this to negative 100, and then this to negative 200, I can see that this is basically going to be the expanse of the track. This might be a little close to this house right here, considering the way this is going to go, so I'm going to go ahead and move this back quite a bit. And now I'm going to do Shift Z, click off, and then click that again. And let's go ahead and change this. So negative 100, and then negative 200. I can also press this button right here, focus, to zoom in into whatever I have selected. So this is definitely a lot better. A lot more space right there. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete this because I don't need it anymore. Once you zoom in the stuff, it can be kind of difficult to zoom out. There may be a better way to do this, but I'm not sure at the moment. Some of the camera movement is a little wonky. Now that we have this set, let's go ahead and start defining the track. So if you go to gates and you scroll down to about halfway, we get most of the multi-GP tracks, or multi-GP gates, including this red one for the start. So I'm just going to select this and place it. So you can see it's facing the wrong way. This little disc right there, that's going to be the exit side of the gate. So we want to align this so it's going that way. So I'm just going to select this And you can see that this green arrow is facing up. I'm going to type 90. And now I can see that the disk is facing away from it. So this is oriented correctly. And to place it, I'm just going to make sure that this is still at 0, 0, 0. Click this, and I can see on the image that this is about at 0 on the red direction and 50 on the green direction. So that's not correct. That was not the right box. So change this back. So 0 and negative 50. I say negative because this is just the way the directions work, but basically just multiply everything by -1. You can see in the bottom right here, that's the order of the gates. This is the only one right now, and you can see it's set to the start gate because it's the first one. It's also set to the finish one, probably because there's only one right now. I think if I add another, then if I go back here, yeah, this is set to false, but we want to click this box, so basically it's going to be a loop. And you can see if I click these two arrows down here, it'll snap between the gates in order. And I'll go ahead and add another one so I can show you how you can change the order. So right now you can see it's 1, 2, 3. Sometimes it doesn't snap. I don't know why. But if I want to make this the second gate, then I just click this arrow right here. Now you can see it goes 1, 2, 3. I'll go ahead and make this the second gate again, and now set correctly. So I don't actually want these. I'm going to go ahead and delete them. And you just can drag over them or just select them and press backspace, and that'll delete them. So it looks like the next gate we want is going to be this like left kind of pyramid, half pyramid shape. To make that, we're going to use 2 of these gates for the ones on the ground and this one for the one above. First we'll make the one in the bottom right. So I'll go ahead and select this. And now this is, remember the disk is the exit side, so we need to flip this 180 degrees. Now one thing that could be kind of confusing is if you want to align things, it's like, if I say that this gate is at 50-30 or something, well, which part of it is actually at 50-30? If you hold B while you have something selected, you can see that you can drag specific parts of it. So I can drag the corners, and you can see that as I do that, I can look at like where it is in relation to the grid. So if I say I know that the corner of it is a specific part, then I can move this about where it needs to go, and then either just get it as close as possible or like edit it a little more precisely with these numbers directly if I want to. But looking at the image, it looks like the left corner right here is at 70 in the blue 70 in the blue direction. And then about, let's see, what is that? 90 in the red direction. Okay, that seems a little off. What did I do wrong there? -70. This might be backwards. Okay, that seems more correct, but I might have to double check this. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I'm looking at the wrong numbers. That'll do it. Okay, -50 and then -90. That looks better, much better. So now just to check the order. Yeah, this is set correctly. So now the next gate is going to be the one right next to this one. It's going to be facing the same direction. So there is a clone tool, and I'll probably use that later, but a video I was watching on how to do this says do not use this for gates, probably something to do with the gate order. So I'm just going to create them manually. So we'll go ahead and flip this like the other, and then I'm just going to, let's see. There, we'll just make sure that's lined up, and then we'll move this so it's about touching. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and save in case something happens. I'll just name this Joe Brainer Scratch. Okay. So now if the program crashes or something, I don't have to worry about losing any progress. So on this one next, looks like we're going to come around this way and go through a gate there. I'll turn this. And this one, it looks like the bottom left corner, actually let's go to the bottom right corner. That's about at 90, so negative 90. And then 140. And it also looks like there's a barrier right there, so let's go ahead and add that. You go to barriers, there's a multi-GP one right here. And this, isn't really a gate, so we don't have to worry about the direction of it or anything. I'm just gonna line this up. So I'm going to basically look down, and if I press O on my keyboard, that goes into orthographic mode, just to help line things up a little bit. So I'm just going to do it like that. I'll press O again to get out of it. And if you want, you could do the whole track that way, but I'm just going to get in and out as I need to. So the next thing is going to be the flag. The flag does count as a gate. So if I go here, I think there's a multi-GP one somewhere. May have missed it. Is this multi-GP? Yeah. And you can see that this pad right here, you're going to fly over that. That's kind of a direction. So it should be oriented the same way you have it on your SketchUp drawing. So, but I will go ahead and turn this. Now it looks like this first flag is at 70. Sometimes these arrows you can't go by though, because you can see I'm grabbing the blue one and it's changing the R value because it's turned, I guess. But this one's at 70, and then 170. And then the next one is going to be on the same line, but it's going to be flipped. So we're going to go negative 90. This one's at, so negative 170. And this one's 40. I'll go ahead and save again. And then we'll add this last flag, and then we'll check. Just go through the gate order, make sure that nothing crazy has happened. So flip that, and that one's all the way in the back. And this needs to be the same as this, so negative 70. So we'll just go in reverse order here. So that looks good. Good. Sometimes if you just go back and forth, you can get it to snap to the right gate. So we look good on this. save again. So next thing is going to be the other gate around this barrier. We need to flip this. And I'm not going to worry about this one precisely, because I don't know what happened. Tried going to orthographic mode, now it is, let's try snapping to... Okay, this is why you save frequently. Uh, okay. We're going to press escape. Yes. And we're going to go to the menu and re-enter this. So just find the track that I've already been working on and click edit. Thankfully, it just spawns you back in the sky. So I'm going to go back to this area right here. We're going to look straight down at the ground, because you can go into orthographic mode not looking down, and it looks kind of weird. But if you look straight down, right there, and press O, now we got this nice view where everything is a straight line like we would expect. So I'll select this gate again and orient it. Need to do it the other way, so -90. And then I'll grab this square right here to move it on both axes at the same time. And just kind of put it into position. And let me check the order. Yeah, that looks good. So get out of orthographic mode. Next, looks like we're going to come back around and we're going to go through the gate that goes up top here. So instead of using this one, which has the bottom cut out, I'm going to use this one, which is just a square. And it's already oriented the right way. We're going to line it up with this one. So that's... Oh, looks like this, yeah, this is no longer being considered as like the origin. So I'm just going to go ahead and set that again. We're good. Oh, and I need to change it back to feet. Alright, scared me for a second. So, let's see. This needs to be set to -50. So we're good on that. And now these are about 6 high. So if I change this to 6, or -6, okay, that's interesting. Now it should be about up top. So I'll just also copy this value right here. Now it's stacked on top. This may be a little off because I think that... Actually, you know what? Let's not use this. Let's use this one because this is how it would be if we were actually creating it, because we don't want that section right here. This part would be a little wider. So we'll just repeat that process. So 6, sorry, negative. My headset might be messing up if my voice cuts out. -50 and -90. There we go. That looks pretty good. And again, the puck or pad or whatever is facing toward or the exit side of the gate. So then after that, did I just screw it up again? Nope. All right, we're good. So now we're going to go through the other side. So flip this around. Go ahead and move it up. And align it with this direction, so -50. And it looks like the right leg right here is going to be about -60. Okay, something I didn't realize, it looks like when you do snap to, it's going to snap. Not a problem, we can just move it back up, but so about right there is where we want it. -50 and -6. So then from there, come back around, go for the bottom. So we'll just copy these. So -50, -60. And flip it around. And then from there, come for this gate here. So go ahead and flip it. 50. And I'm just going to drag this. There we go. So we've got those set up. And now save. Go back to flags. No, sorry. Flags are in gates. Get the multi-GP flag. Need to flip this. This one looks to be at -90. Oh, that was the wrong direction. And -30. Now the gates that have flags on them, I don't think they have any of those in here, so I'm just going to put a gate down and then put a flag in the same spot. So this one, that's already facing the right way. I'm going to set this to 0. And this may be a little off from the drawing, but it's still pretty close. This is going to be -50. You go for the bottom first. I'm going to grab a flag, and if you want, you could, get a different one up here. But I'm going to basically just put that right on the edge, and then turn it. So 90. So that way you can see the pad is right here. You're basically going to be, you'll go through this gate here, and then you'll come back around, and then go through there. Trying to see if there might be... No, I think that's okay. So, go ahead and save. Let's just go through the track order. So, that looks good. That looks good. 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 Now for the top of there, back for the top of that one, down for the bottom, one next to it. The flag, the gate, the flag. Okay, I guess it doesn't loop back around in the front, but since this one is set as start and finish, it should be good. So the layout is correct. I still need to put down the cones if you want them. But before I do that, I'm going to run through this, make sure everything is working as expected. Particularly, I want to make sure that this works correctly. I forgot to plug in my controller, so I'm going to pause the recording and go do that. Okay, so to actually fly a track, you just click this. You can use some of these buttons. I'm not sure what play does once. I guess you just run it once and then it'll bring you back here. I'm just going to click fly. And you have to save again, so just click yes. And I can go ahead and kind of fly around. It starts you in the middle. If you want to just look at it, you can. But I'm going to go ahead and start the race to check the gate order.
2, 1.
Try not to embarrass myself. Oh. Not doing too good on that front, but so far so good. Oh. I think that's not how you would want to run that, but the gate order is correct at least. So come through here and go back around and go through there. So that's by default set to free laps, but everything is good on that. Um, so now we want to go back and add the cones. I don't know of a way to get back to the track editor from here, so I'm just going to click exit session. That'll bring me back to the main menu, and then I'll just go back in here. So to add cones, there's a different category in here, cones. You know, you could just select this and click and place them down. These you can like clone, so that'll make things a little easier. That's going to be a real pain, so I'm going to delete that. And if I go down to Tools and select this, this is a spline editor. So this lets me draw curves and then I can place objects along them. I'm going to go into orthographic mode for this. So get roughly looking at the ground, and press O. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Okay, don't know why that's happening. Maybe if I focus. Oh, I'll explain what I just did in a sec. Once I figure out what's going on with the camera. If I focus at this and then zoom out, let's see if. Yeah, that's better. So I'm going to zoom out until I can basically see this area of the track. And then look down, and oh, that's good. Okay, so I'm going to select the spline tool. I'm basically just going to start right here, and I'll do basically a point right there, and we just get a nice curve going through this gate. Once I've made my spline, I double right click, and that ends it. You probably want to keep these short because I can't find a way to like extend a spline once you've exited out of it. You can add points to it if you really had to, but that would be a pain to move all those out. So try and keep it short. Luckily, you'll probably want to if you're stacking a lot of elements on top of each other, like you do in most of your tracks. So once you have your spline drawn, I'm going to go back to cones, get this white cone, put it anywhere on the spline. First, I need to right click it until it's red. So I'm just going to do that, place this cone, and then if I do Control A, that will place them along the spline. And you can see it's actually left this one that I originally placed, so I'll just press delete to get rid of that. Now, maybe you don't like this spacing. You can, while the spline is selected, do Control D, and that will delete everything on it. And now if I go to spline spacing right here, if I do like, let's do 0.75, click this again, now you can see they're much closer together. I'm going to go back to 1.5 because I think that's plenty. So select the cone, put it on the spline, Control A, delete. So that's what it's going to look like. And once you've placed these, you can edit these around if you need to. I may actually move this up because you can see it's kind of far away from that gate. So I'll go back into orthographic, right click this. I'm going to do Control D to get everything off of there. You can move the spline while things are on it and they'll kind of try to snap to it, but it can be kind of finicky, so I usually just like to get rid of things before moving stuff around. And I'll move this one around a little bit. And I may actually add a point there so that this is coming out straight. So if I go to Tools and then click this right here, I can now add points to the spline. So I'll do that, and then that looks good. I'll go back to cones, Control A. So that's still a little off, but that looks good enough, I think. So then, This one's going to be a little weird, but we'll do it. Drawing circles in the spline can be a little tricky. So double right click to get out of it. Let's try moving some of these around. I think I probably need to add one coming out of here to keep that straight. So there we go. Cones. And now coming out of here, I'll just let it overlap a little bit. So build it straight here. And I'm gonna just let this run through the gate. And then basically this is gonna be kind of a long spline, but you may want to do it, break it up into parts. I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. That one's probably gonna need to move, but that's okay. And that's gonna come back through here. So I'm gonna just kind of trust the pilot to know that how this works. So double right click to get out of it. Go ahead and move this back a little bit. And I think actually I'm gonna add another so that I can straighten this up a little bit. That looks good. So right click, back to cones, place, Control A, delete. And if you want to, well, I'll go back and do it later. I guess like add the line to indicate that you're supposed to go up at that point. Okay, so coming out of that one, you go back through here. I'll do it like that. That's not perfect, but I don't want to go back and change that. And do another circle around. And you know what, I realize now, this isn't really like how you would fly this. You would probably like kind of go and flip over it. But so I may actually just delete this spline. There might be a special shortcut for deleting a spline. So if you click this up here, this is all the shortcuts, and there's a section just for splines. So left shift, and delete. Okay. So we'll just leave it like that, and we're not going to worry too much about going around here. So from here, go around. We can do it like this. lastly, the one that goes back to start. Okay, that looks pretty good. If we want to go and add to the ones where you're supposed to go up, so like right here maybe, I'm just gonna, that would be more useful, but it's not close together enough. So I'm just gonna grab these red ones, just kind of roughly place them. And then these I will clone and then kind of just drag out. I think this is showing up because it's, there we go. So I think that line is good enough. Okay, if I do Control C, no I can't. There's no copy and paste this way. But if I do clone with all of these, can I? Oh, there you go. So I will copy this and move them over there. So I think that's basically it, because I don't think there's any other sections that would need that indicator. So I'm just gonna save this, and we'll just fly it one more time.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, whoa, didn't hit that right. Didn't hit that right either. We're gonna hit this one right. A little high up, but we did it. Oh, did not do that right. Okay. Alright, I'm not gonna do all the laps, but that's gonna be pretty good. So I'm not gonna change this one anymore, but there are a few things that I wanna show you just for future reference. And I'll go back to this one to show them off because this track makes better use of some of the things like invisible gates and dive gate setup that I have. So you can see for this gate right here, this one had the flag. I used a different flag. This one doesn't actually count as a gate. This frame right here, this is an invisible gate. So if you go to invisible, these you can see them in the track editor, but you don't actually see them in the when you're flying them. They just show up as a like a gate that you have to pass through an area. It'll give the visual indicator, but yeah, I think you get the idea. And it just works in terms of order like all the others. Dive gate, there is not a multi-GP dive gate like the one that we have, except for this one, which isn't actually a gate. You can see I have an invisible gate kind of just lined up with it. This one, if you want it, you just go to barriers, and it's somewhere in here. I don't know why it's in barriers. There it is. And I changed the scale of it a little bit because I think it was a little smaller than the one we had. But if to change the scale of things, you can just set it to this, and then you can just grab this cube in the middle and do that. I don't think there's much else. I think that's about it. So hope that was useful for you.